Welcome. This is episode 4 of this. Well, I guess it's more a tutorial series than a let's play at this stage. We will flick across to more let's play content in a little while. I just wanted to still just go through a few more explanations of different things. In this one, we're going to be looking at infiltration and enshadowment, to a degree anyway. The enshadowment at the moment, you can sort of see the map is slowly changing colour as the shadow creeps out from the Elder Tomb. This will get darker and darker over time. Unfortunately, the game doesn't show you detail. I wish it did actually, even though you don't really use the hexes. It would still be nice to know what the actual colour is referring to. But if we have a look at the other locations, we'll sort of see that this is like at 4%. This one's at 4% back out through here as well. This one here, because we've got our agent here, our supplicant, or the supplicant, this one's actually running a lot higher at 13%. And if we actually look at the supplicant, we can see also that he is now at progress of 36 out of 75, so he's actually at turn 9. At turn 10, there's 10 turns left, and we had 19 turns to actually do this one in through here. So at 10 turns, we then have an event which happens next turn. This is why I wanted to stop the last episode where I did. We also will see that in 2 turns' time, we end up having the next seal will then break, or the first seal will then break, and different things will then happen at that particular point in time. We look at the World Panic. It's running at the moment at 1%, and you're saying 2% there with World Panic, but it actually should just be 1%. Anyway, it's low, which is fine. It's only early in the game. We're only at turn 10. Okay, so let's just go and end our turn, and then we'll sort of get the event. By the way, let's have a quick look, just a quick summary. 5 security, just remember this. The cities are running at 5 security at the moment. The village is at 1 security. This one here is at 1 security. So that's sort of just so that we just keep this in mind as we sort of get ready for this infiltration. So end turn. This is now the event that has come up, so Spectral Assault. The supplicant has encountered a group of restless spirits. The spirits will attempt to sap the life energy from our pawn. They could be avoided or used as a distraction to reduce our agent's profile. Now, at the moment, we've got a hit point of 5. You can sort of see that over through here, the hit points. It'll always show, whoever triggers this will then sort of show on the left-hand side over here, so you can always just gauge to see what's actually going on. And if we just hover over this one, we can see we lose 2 hit points and reduce the profile by 5, or we can bypass these foes and lose 5 challenge progress. Now, what that means is if I just minimize this, and you can do this whenever you get one of these things coming up, you then go back into the map and have a look, and then just return to this whenever you feel like it. So our supplicant, if we have a click on this character, has now gone to 40 out of 75, and so we can either take some hit point damage and go backwards a little bit, and end up being 35, or go forward and you go forward 5 points, I think it is, and take 2 hit point damage, which wouldn't really worry us at this stage because we're not in any threat from anything. So if we just go return to the decision, and so use the distraction, reduce the profile by 5, which will then advance what we're doing by what we actually, is it profile? That's progress. That's different again. Reduce profile. Okay, this is actually, sorry, I'm confused. This is how hidden we are. Now we're already at 0, so it doesn't really matter. Like we just lose 2 hit points, but nothing else actually happens, or we just bypass and lose another 5 challenge progress. But let's just take the hit point damage, even though the profile isn't going to be doing anything. We also now have the Manticore mission that we were doing has actually just finished as well with the Warlord. So let's just quickly get him out of the way. So we'll just click on Done, and the Warlord completes defeat the Manticore. We'll go to him. And also Sir Yong, the chosen one, is now 100% aware. So she's actually now aware of what we're doing. And this represents them being aware of your presence, nature, and true threat. Now, what she'll try to do is get everyone else in the world aware as well, to try to sort of get them to protect themselves against what we're doing. And so we have to be a bit careful of this aspect. It's not dramatic. It just means that there's a growing awareness and a growing fear in the world. So we'll just dismiss that one. Well, it's more world panic is sort of slowly going to be growing with those sorts of things. Now we have our Manticore in through here. What that does is it increases our command and our might. So we're now getting a bit stronger than what we were there before. Our attack has now gone up as well accordingly to 5. And so what we wanted to do with this, so this thing here does actually increase might and command. We can now get 2 ogres because each ogre is 3 command each. You can see we've now got a command limit of 6. So let's find out where the ogres actually are. Let's just zoom out a little bit. We know that they're in the top of the map here somewhere. So they're somewhere in the top here. If we just go and press the number 6 key, which will then take us to the modifier finder in the masking of the maps, we can then just go down to Wandering Ogre. So we've got a Wandering Ogre there, and two Wandering Ogres back over this side. It's funny, I thought there was more than that over this side. So we've got two there, actually two ogres. They can wander around, but they're just wandering into that location at this stage. So they're both at that coven, two of them in there. So that's fine. We'll just go back, press 6 again, go and get our character, and send him up to that coven. So he'll now make his way through the ocean. You see our profile went up a little bit by catching that manticore. So we've actually got that one there, and we'll just move that one up. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So that was a little bit of the Let's Play, I guess. And now we'll go back to what we're doing here. One more turn and we get the seal broken. So we'll end our turn there. So the seal now breaks. Your maximum power has increased. Powers are unlocked. So we've got boost the infiltration in selected location. So this is actually a power that we can actually then go and do. So we'll just dismiss that. And so if we look at this, we've now got 2 of 2 power. We can use the power and we have an eyes in the shadow. And this is a way that we can boost our infiltration in the selected location. Now, if I use this, I can use this in any of the locations that aren't already fully infiltrated, and including the cities. And so the cities, as we saw there before, these have got 5 security that we saw there before. I can cancel that and just go through that again. So these have got 5 security, which means that if I go in with it's 125 complexity for me to then send a supplicant in to try to overcome this. So this particular city has got a market, vast sewers, and a city palace. Back in through here, we've got a market, docks, and a city palace as well. And these are both at security 5. If I can use it on these little security 1s, but I can get through these relatively easily. Like the challenge is only plus 25 from the base security. So it's really not a difficult prospect for me to use an agent like the supplicant to go in there and do his job. So we're just going to go with one of the cities. I think that's often the best way to go. Sometimes, though, you will be wanting to look at the flow. Now, what infiltration really does, it does 2 things for us in different ways. One is it opens up the gate to allow, it doubles the flow. Like if we go to this entire village and have a look at the enshadowment, it's at 5%. And you'll see that the gain per turn is 0.463% in this case. So we're getting some from Fort Amy's, and we're getting 0.4 from the Elder Tomb. So we're getting 0.063 from Fort Amy's. Fort Amy's has got more shadow than this location because of this character. So the enshadowment here is kicking on because we set him up with that ability, just to recap, of the Dying Light, where he adds another 1% per turn that he's actually there. So we're 5% plus the 10% of the time that he's been doing this mission. So this is why we've got 15% here, and they're only getting the 0.4 from that particular location. So just remember, these are all little numbers we should remember. Once it becomes fully opened up, it doubles the rate. So for example, we've got direct connections across the city of Bait. So I can actually click on this city and it's also at 5%. We are getting the 0.63 again from Fort Amy's. We're getting 0.4 from the Elder Tomb. And so let's double the rate that this one then goes. We won't actually double it here. Sorry, if I get one of these fully opened, it will double the rate coming in there. But let's just do it here anyway and just see what actually does happen with just a little bit, because we have to actually go and infiltrate the market, the sewers, and the palace to get 100% infiltration. So it's better, because it's going to cost us a lot more because of the security, we might as well go and do that now. So we'll just go across and use power, eyes in the shadow, and we'll go and do it at this location, select, and now the markets have been infiltrated at the bottom there. And so I don't think we'll see it as such with the enshadowment. Yeah, look, see how it's increased a little bit. So it's now gone from 0.483 or whatever now to 0.617. So we're getting a little bit extra shadow now coming into that location. And so this is what we want as well. We want all sorts of different things happening here. By the way, when we look at the shadow, and I'll talk in the next episode. We'll be looking at the way that the cities and towns work with the nobility. We do actually have a noble here who has actually now got 14% enshadowment. So she is starting to become enshadowed with the she's starting to become corrupted very, very sort of slowly. She actually hates orcs. That's interesting. I didn't realise that she actually hated orcs. So she's probably going to be the first of the characters that falls to the shadow. So we'll talk about that next turn anyway. But we should sort of see panic if there's any fallen heroes as such. I think that's the fallen heroes where the I think that's how that one relates. I'll have to double check that somehow. Anyway, that's fine. Let's just continue on. So we'll now just keep on rattling through these turns. She's now beginning a new quest to warn the world at the location of Essions, which is where she's been located at this stage. So she's trying to warn the leader of the city of Essions, which is back over here. So this is the capital city of the Queendom of Essions. So she's over here, and she's now going to be warning, and it'll take her a little bit of time, 3 turns to do this. She'll be talking to Queen Tyrians and to get her awareness up. So that's what she's aiming to do, is to raise her awareness of the potential problems that we may be causing. So that's what that particular mission is, or that particular quest is that she is doing. Let's end our turn again. Okay, the warlord has now arrived. Let's go to where he is. And so he's now arrived at this convent. If we have a look, there's only one ogre there. So where's he wandered off to? There. Okay, so he's wandered back down to here. Anyway, we've got one. That's all we need. So let's just go across and conscript the ogre. Now this will take 5. It's got 50 complexity. We can sort of see when just where the mouse actually is. And on the left-hand side, you'll see that there's to complete this quest, we can use both our command and our might, and to sort of get this thing done in 5 turns. We can do this one very, very quickly. So let's just go and click on that one. So in 5 turns' time, we're going to have an ogre in our ranks, and the ogres will, if I hover over that one, you'll see recruits an ogre to serve as a minion. Hit point of 10, attack of 4, defense of 3, and the cost of 3. Now the cost is essentially the cost in command, and that's why we've got to have three command points for this one. So you can see that requires a command stat of 3 or higher at the very bottom of that list. Right, back to where we were. Let's go back and watch what happens in through here as the infiltration kicks in. So, and the enshadowment sort of is allowed to sort of run a bit more rampant. Now we have to wait for the power to increase. At the moment, the power is slowly getting more and more. Every time we get a seal broken, the flow of power gets stronger and stronger into us. It'll be 12 turns before we get the next power coming back in, and then probably another 12 or 13 after that. So let's just continue on. There we go. Queen Tyrians is now aware. So exactly what we sort of spoke about there before. Nothing. You don't have to worry too much about this one, but she may then give missions to try to put wards up to stop the flow of the shadow into her terrain. Let's end our turn there. And she's now beginning a new quest, reduce tensions at Ession. So she's really doing a lot at the palace. Okay, the supplicant completes Infiltrate Fortress, Infiltrate Fortress Shadow, which spreads it at a faster than normal rate to infiltrated locations as the cult welcomes the darkness in. So cultists join the watch alongside the regular guards. Identical to the normal eye, they recognise each other by a single scar on the left eyelid, marking themselves as those who have seen truly beyond what is taught in academies and palace tutelages. God. Tongue-tied. Okay, so we'll just go and dismiss that one. So the sun begins to set, so the first shadow begins to take hold, the world becomes slightly darker, and as you expand your shadow, the nobles and heroes of this world will become obscured by darkness and lose the ability to defend themselves against your coming dominion. The stars shine less brightly. Now we've got now 3% there. Yep, so the awakening has now got us up to 3%. Now we see that this location, if we go and click on this one here, is now 100% infiltrated. And if we look at the enshadowment, we can now see, instead of coming at 0.4, it's now going at 0.8. So we're now getting double the flow of shadow coming into this location. Plus we have the extra bonus of actually having the supplicant sitting back in here at the moment. Now, what I can do is if we're getting close to getting close to an amount, I can always just bring him back across because of this dying light aspect. But that basically is now opening things up, opening the flow up. Now, what are we going to do with him next? I'm going to be coming back into here anyway. Actually, let's have a look at a few other things that come from this one. So we've now got security is now 0 at this location, and the ruler is in shadowed essentially. So the Baroness is over 20%. Okay, so she's now in shadowed. So she is essentially like she's on the way to dropping out of this. So she's by having her like that, the security is now dropped. So -1, the ruler is in shadowed. So this has now got 0 security. The main thing we want the security there for, though, is to be able to break through. Let's have a look at a few of the neighbours, though. This one over through here has now dropped 1. It's now security is now 4. It's -1 because of the infiltration at Fort Amy's. So the infiltration here, with this being 100%, has now dropped this one down to 4. And similarly, if we have a look at this one here, its security has also dropped to 0 because of the infiltration happening over this side. This will be 0 as well. So these are now becoming much, much easier for me to infiltrate because of the lack of security. And even this will be down to 4 as well. So to get this one down a bit lower, I can go and infiltrate this one and this one as well. Let's just go across and do exactly that. We'll now see that our profile and menace has risen a little bit. I will be trying to keep this one low, but it's not low enough. Just like we can still keep on going and doing what we're doing. Now also we have leveled up. We can see there's a little symbol there that we level up. By the way, if you try to end the turn and don't level up, the game will stop and say, hey, you need to level up and sort of take you to the level up screen. Let's go and do that now. Now what we want to be doing is we want to be getting these infiltrations and the enshadowments done as fast as we possibly can. We can't enshadow anything other than cities, so I'm a little way off needing to use the law to do that. So law is the aspect that we use to enshadow. Intrigue is the one that we use to actually open the gates and to infiltrate. So let's go and get the intrigue score even higher. I can put 1 point to any one of these, or I can go to stealthy, where I lose 0.1 profile per point of intrigue, so meaning that we stay under the radar even more. But we're going to go to intrigue in this case. So intrigue has now gone up to 5, which means that when we come into this particular mission to infiltrate this one, it's now complexity 50. I've got 5 points. It's 10 turns to do that one. So that's pretty much the way that it works with this. Now, if I just go and end the turn again, I'll just quickly rattle through these. The warlord has now completed conscript the ogre. So let's just go up to where he is. And we saw that the other ogre had now wandered down into here, and he's still there. So let's go across and grab him as well. So we'll just move him across and conscript the second ogre. You'll notice that we've now got the command limit is now 3 of 6 with this warlord. And we'll get a very, very powerful army with him. Very powerful. So that will almost make him untouchable for quite a long time in the game and allow him to do a lot of destruction. And we don't mind if his menace and profile increases if he's doing this sort of damage. Like if he's got an army like this, no one's going to want to come near him. Not until, not for a long, long time. The humans are going to have to really get very, very strong to be able to take him on. He's already going to be quite a fearful prospect. He is also leveled up, by the way. Now, we don't want to be going with command anymore. What we want to do is to get his strength up. So we're going to go and raise his might. So let's just go and get him to level up, and we'll get the might score. So the might is currently 5. I click on that one. His hit points go up. His attack goes up because of the might going up. So he's becoming quite the beast in terms of what he can actually then go and do. So we'll just wait for him to get this next ogre. So conscripting the ogre, he gets 72 XP. I should have shown that actually. If we hover over this, we'll see that it's got the progress to next level underneath the level 1. We've got 192 to get to level 2. So getting this ogre is going to get a 72 along the way there. So we've still got a fair few things we need to do to get him back up there. Eventually, I'll be trying to keep his profile relatively low and his menace fairly low as much as I can, but I won't go out of my way to hide him. Not like the supplicant agent that we actually have. All right, let's continue on in here. So end our turn and orcish upstart. So we've now got this is a new orc is trying to come in to try to take over one of the orcish factions. We'll just keep it going, and Sir Yong has beginning a quest to reduce tensions at Ession. So Ession's has got a little bit of a problem there. We'll just dismiss that. Warlord Ferende completes Conscript the Ogre. Great, so we'll just go up to him again. And actually the next seal has broken as well. Another seal breaks and your god comes closer to their return. Your maximum power increases. You gain an extra agent slot, so we can do that one. And we also have now powers that are unlocked. So we've now got Fleeting Servant, which creates a Fleeting Servant modifier on a given location as a distraction. Heroes will believe it to be a threat. It has 30 profile and 50 menace, and may engage in a short quest to defeat it, wasting their time and efforts. So that's something we can use as a bit of a distraction, just to get the motivations of the... And if you saw in the previous episode where I went through how heroes get motivated, this is actually something that you can do to give them something to do instead of coming after you. So it's something we can actually make use of. We don't need it yet, but it can actually help. We'll dismiss that. So we have an extra agent we can now bring in. Now, this one, I don't really care much about what's happening up through here. Now, we do have a few little locations. That's interesting. We're actually getting refugees automatically. And I'll maybe have a look at this next episode as to why there's refugees wandering around in the wild. There must be something happening in here that we haven't really had a good look at yet. And there will be different sorts of things. In fact, there we go. This location here is in trouble. We've got this one here. What are you doing? They're all doing different sorts of things. That one's just finished. I don't know what that one was actually doing at that location, at the primal font. Yeah, there's wrestle control for it. So increase your control of the wonder, gaining access to it, challenges and denying them to the heroes. So that's actually something. Yeah, it's got complexity 100. Yeah, we don't need to sort of worry about that one. And then drink primal waters requires an agent or hero who is not currently under the influence of primal waters and for their faction to be currently in control of the primal font. Control to be as at or above 50% for evil, at or below for heroes. So I don't know what that does actually. I haven't haven't done that one yet. Yeah, I'm not sure. We might look at that in a little while, but we're focused in the south of the map at this stage. I'm just going to move him back down now to join up with these guys. Now his menace is now 20 because of the 2 ogres that we've got, but I can drop that down to 0 just by hiding him away. No one's going to attack him, so I think what we'll do is we'll come and start doing the raiding. So he's going to travel to Tyre Village. Just end our turn, end our turn. Wards are being established. Okay, so King Balas Mims has ordered the creation of wards against the shadow to defend against the spread of the shadow into the town of Volisates. These wards will slow the growth slow the rate of the shadow. It's a bit like the opposite of the infiltration. So wherever that is, which is over in here somewhere, it'll be around the capital, I would have thought. Is that the one? Just go to modifiers. No, it's not there. All right. I'm not sure if it goes to events. No, not there. It won't be thunder threats messages. Wards established. There it is. Just go to have a bit of a look. Okay, it's up in here. That's interesting. It's actually at the place that we will be wanting to get into. So it must mean that he's got no awareness. He's got no awareness of us, but he's still actually keen on putting these wards up to keep the shadow at bay. We should start to see the shadow creeping out from these locations fairly soon. We're at 21% here. We're now at 31% over this side and 15% in here. So we're slowly enshadowing these regions, and this is exactly what we want to do. How long have we got in here? One more turn left. I think what we'll do is we'll do this one and then we'll call this episode to a close. Wards established. Okay, so the Baroness has ordered the creation of wards against the shadow again. So this is another one. If we just go to wherever she is. So it's right where we are, unfortunately. We'll just dismiss that. So a ward has been created in here. So currently the ward is set at 100%. And so it's just it does reduce over time. So there's a ward that has been established in this location by the Baroness that's actually in here. Now this is the next one we're going to be targeting. So that'll be interesting to sort of see how this one does work. The enshadowment was at 2% and the current gain is going to be 0%. But we can get past that by infiltrating it. So the ward blocks 100% at this stage, but we're going to be able to sneak underneath that one. So what we'll do is I will go there next. We've just done the enshadowment of this location. This one is still at 0 security, so that doesn't really matter. If we have a look at these now as well, these are now down to 3 because they've now got -1 from the village and the fort. So, and this will be the same. This will be down to 3. Let's move across. In fact, we've now got another 2 power. So let's go and infiltrate this one slightly. So we just go across, use the power. The fleeting servant costs 3, but we don't need that one just yet. Eyes in the shadows. And we can then just go back into this location. I can't do another one on a location, even the one that's still got areas that can be infiltrated. I'll just keep this one going. So let's go and select there. Just go and do that one. So we've now got that one. It's got its market has now been infiltrated as well. By the way, with the infiltration in cities, it will mean different things depending on what does get infiltrated. So if we have a look at the market, for example, if I go to the challenges that we actually can do through here, because the market has been infiltrated in through here, we have a thing that we can do where we can buy different items from the market. So we've got different things in through this side if we've got gold, and we don't have any of that just yet. We can also, with that, we can change the, where is it? Force the restocking of the market. If we don't like the items that are on offer, we can ask them to replace them with something else. So that's actually what we can sort of do with the market. If it was a location like with vast sewers, you'll see that it's not it's not active yet because we can't actually do it, but we can actually cause plague from sewers. So if we infiltrate the sewers, that's something we can actually do. Back over through here at the docks, there's other things we can do. So there's more of the market things, and through the side, actually, what's that one there do? An unassuming hood gives us -5 menace. That could be useful. So these are the sorts of things we can, if we get some gold, we can sort of dig these things out. But anyway, if we do infiltrate this one, we can get the malign catch. So alters the aquatic life in this area, mutating them into darker forms. These will constantly slowly increase madness and shadow each turn. So heroes can hold these effects at bay, but will need to constantly work to keep them back, to keep back this umbral tide. Can be used to start a deep one cult here as well. Now we already have a deep one cult. I don't think it's there, is it? No, not there. We've got one close by though. I thought it was in one of those locations. I thought we actually had a deep one cult. Anyway, we won't worry about that so much. But they're the different things we can do there. In through here, what have we got? We've got vast sewers, so that can be turned into plague. This one is vast sewers and docks. We've done those. There's often libraries as well. There's a library. So the library we can actually use with our own mages to create like special arcane studies if we needed to. That's about it, I think. I don't think there's much else. Yeah, markets and docks and libraries, etc. Again, if you're wanting to sort of find what they are, just press number 7. You can then sort of have a look to see what's available. So you get city palaces, docks, markets, libraries. There's the sewers. And catacombs, that's the other one as well. Like if we go and find a location with catacombs, I think there's some at the top. There's one right there. Okay, so we'll just press number 7 again. So this convent has got catacombs. And so at that convent, if we go to challenges, we can then see what we could do there if we had got those across. So we've got blasphemous, there's blasphemous rituals, gain 2 power. Adds 15 minutes to this holy site, which may result in the humans. I don't think that's it. I don't think that is the catacombs. Just go back out and have another look. 7 catacombs. It's a convent as well. I thought that they were. I mean, it looks like they're just only convents. I thought that you could get them at cities as well. No, you can't do that. That's okay. All right. So we've got a few areas now that are trying to put wards up to stop us from encroaching forward with the invasion. We're going to be taking this over immediately. Like we'll have this under our control. We'll look at this as well. This convent. We'll do that in sort of future episodes. At this point in time, what I'm going to now do is probably leave this here. We'll still send. He's now finished, so we're going to send him across to there and start to infiltrate these as well. Like he can infiltrate still in just 10 turns. So we'll get that one going. We can also infiltrate the holy site there in the same. Actually, we've got catacombs right there. So we'll just do that in this instance and see what else we can actually do with that. And in the meantime, we're going to have the warlords. So we'll talk about. I think, in the next episode about the way that the economy of the humans works, because we're right at this stage now where we're going to be starting to push things around using our orc warlord. So I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in episode 5.